Nah, there's volume. There's volume on it. I'm just not saying nothing. I'm waiting for some these people that are doubting me that Sepharad was in Spain and Ashkenaz was in Germany. I'm trying to get them to come on here since they claim that I don't know. Yeah, I appreciate it. And what you mean by Facebook? Are you talking about that one? Are you talking about that one group or something like that on Facebook? Yeah, I appreciate it. I doubt that anybody comes on here though. Why don't you call in? I want to see what you know about Sepharad. Do you think that Spain was called Sepharad in the Bible? Do you think that's referring to Spain in the Bible in Obadiah chapter 1 verse 20? Oh, that's good, man. I appreciate that. Like, so where do you think Sephiroth was at? What? You should call in. Don't be afraid of your voice. As people claim, nobody watches these videos anyways. So I mean, you can call in. And where do you think Sephiroth was located? Do you think it was in Sipper in Iraq, modern day Iraq? Or do you think, according to this, that it was in Sardis in Turkey, modern day Turkey, even though Sardis wasn't part of the Assyrian Empire? Right here, read that right there. It's referring to this right here. So you're saying that it could be somewhere near Sipper in modern day Iraq, or it could be by Sardis in Turkey, modern day Turkey, and what they call Asia Minor, Anatolia. Because the reason why I bring this up is, are you familiar with Corey Schuster? I'll bring his YouTube channel up. Yeah, Corey Gill Schuster. This guy right here. Well, you say it could be in Turkey, but so my question is, do you think is this right here? You see where it says Sepharad? Do you think that's the same word as Sepharad? Because Sepharad was called Sephar, Sephar. You can add the ad, but it still meant the same thing, and it was referring like the whole Hebrew word sefer, which meant book. Are you so? Um, and what's so interesting is if like you watch my last live stream, it was two places called Separar in the same like they were twin cities or the two book towns, and they were known for their clay tablets, and actually that was like the most books you can find, like libraries and whatnot. That's why they named it the two book towns. And this is where your Sephardim comes from, which they call Sephardim. It's the same thing because it's talking about the two cities. It had nothing to do with the people because the people were called Sephardim, and these are the same people that replaced the Israelites in Samaria. It says right there, 2 Kings chapter 17, verse 24 and 31. These are the same people. Yeah, but anyway, so the whole point is that you had so this Palestinian woman, he was having a conversation with her, and he said that people cannot convert to become Jews or follow Judaism, which is incorrect. He said that, but people can convert to Islam and become Muslim. So the whole problem is that I showed 100% that people did convert to Judaism in Europe. Not only Europe, they did it in the so-called Khazaria. They did it in Scythian, which is known as Ashkenaz, because people think Ashkenaz represents Germany, and that's absolutely wrong. Ashkenaz was the Scythians. They're the same people. Yeah, actually, the word comes from the Assyrians themselves. They're the ones that called them Ashkenaz. Ashkaze, Ashkaze. Even the Akkadians were calling that. That's who came up with that word was the Syrians. They called them that, the Ashkaze. And what where they took over is exactly where the Ashkaze or Ashkenaz would have been located, which would have been in Ararat, near Ararat, the same place as many Ararat and Ashkenaz, and it links to why the Scythians, why the Ashkenazi, especially the Levites, carry R18. Here we go. And anyways, so the people that said that I was lying about this, they said it was trash. Like, these are trash documents. There's no proof into this, and I refute that. Like, I think that's not, you know, they're saying that this is a trash document or trash research and science. It's just, it makes no sense because this is the truth. This isn't lies. Let me pull up the PDF. Let's see what this. And see, Iran El Hayek, like I agree with this paperwork. I agree with Iran El Hayek when it comes to this research. I mean, he wasn't on his own. Obviously, Das is the head person on this research, but he did came up. He came up with this, was good, but then he came up with the whole Flintstone belief that E1B1B1B, are the original Israel, are the original Abrahams and whatnot, along with Hobble Group T. I don't agree with that. That was found on the ancient origins. I'm sure you watched that or you know about it. It was found on ancient origins. And in this paper, they prove how like the language actually comes from the Slavic languages, which the Scythians would have been speaking an Indo-European language. So, and the whole point in this is like I'm not saying that there aren't true Jews or Israelites amongst that converted the Scythians to Judaism. What I'm saying is that they did intermingle with the Scythians, and those Japhites became Jews, and that's the reason why we see a lot of like European um paternal and maternal lineages amongst the Ashkenazi Jews. I mean, this is 100% accurate. And see, the problem is the Scythians basically took over just about half of Anatolia. They were all the way throughout Iran, Anatolia, modern day, Armenia. They were also right on top of the Black Sea. So, if I'm not mistaken, that would be what Ukraine today, modern day Ukraine. That's how you have the Ashkenazi Jews all up in that area because Ukraine was actually Scythia. That's where the Ashkenaz, that a lot of them were there, and according to Josephus, Flavius Josephus, he says that they were descendants of the Magogites, and the Greeks called Scythians. And see, I see none of these people wanted to join. That's all right. It is what it is. None of these people wanted to join. They got all this argument, but they can't join. That's crazy. Mm-mm-mm. Such a shame. Josephus, who lived at the time of St. Paul, wrote a definitive history of the Jewish people called the Antiquities of the Jews. The historian Josephus identified Magog in these words. Magog founded those that from him were named Magites, but who are by the Greeks called Scythians. So according to Flavius Josephus, the Scythians were descendants of the Magites. And the whole point is that the Scythians were actually called the Ashkenazi by the Assyrians. So the Greeks didn't speak a Semitic language. However, the Assyrians did speak a Semitic language. So the name Ashkenazi or Ashkazi comes from the Assyrians. Man, it's unfortunate that nobody wants to join. And I let people know, I'm like, stop commenting back and forth. Just join on to the live debate. Just get on. I'll put the phone number, or I'll come to your channel so you can control it. And like, people think I just want to make fun of them. I don't do that. My thing is, if you don't talk crap to me, I won't talk crap to you, and I won't put you down. But if you belittle me, I'm gonna belittle you. Treat others the way you want to be treated. So you belittle me, say I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm gonna say the same thing to you. Oh my bad, I didn't switch at all. All right, so this is what I was talking about. Should let me know. I didn't have it on the screen. You see it now? Are you still here? The historian Josephus identified Magog in these words. Magog founded those that from him were named Magogites, but who are by the Greeks called Scythians. So I was told this, I was lying about this, like that the Ashkenazi and the Scythians aren't one and the same thing. But you have a Jew in Israel who actually teaches that the Scythians are Jews. And what he actually meant to say was the Scythians were converts. And somehow the Israelites or the Jews mixed in amongst the Scythians. And what I believe what happened was the Syrians actually sold the Israelites or the Jews to the Scythians. And somehow the Jews or Israelites were able to intermingle with the Scythians, converting some of them to their faith, like becoming like blood brothers. Because there's nowhere in the Tanakh it says that the Israelites were dwelling or the Jews were dwelling amongst Ashkenaz. So this happened after the Tanakh. And that could be where in Second Esdras it says that they dwelt in Arsareth. So I think Arsareth might be the location of heading towards north where they came into contact with the Scythians. Second Esdras chapter 13:45. For through that country there was a great way to go, namely of a year and a half, and the same region is called Arsarid. So what I believe is that they went through the Caucasus to get to this land. Why it took them so long? Because they had to climb all those mountains. They had to climb through all that rough terrain. So they had to travel all through here to get over there. And we know that the Euphrates and the Tigris rivers are right here. We know that. So they had to go through all the way up here in order to get over here. And there's a theory that they crossed the Black Sea actually. So they went through the Euphrates, went through the Black Sea, and came into the land of Scythia or Ashkenaz. And what's so funny about this is that, um, no Ashkenazi Jews has ever like admitted this. They say that Germany itself, this region right here, was called Ashkenazi or Ashkenaz, and we don't find that not even in the medieval times. So it was after the medieval times that they ever started calling this region Ashkenaz. Because that's what this author Solomon, Katz basically explains is that even Sepharad, it was never called Sepharad. Even in the land, it was there's even question about Hispanias because the Visigoths were known as the Hispanics or the Hispania because before that the land was called Iberia and that was named by the Greeks. And so obviously, back that up when the so-called Spanish Jews, when they were dispersed or when they were fleeing from the Iberian Peninsula, where did they go? They went to the Ottoman Empire. And you see how you notice how they call them the Iberian Jews? They don't call them the Sephardi Jews. They call them Iberian Jews. And so it proves that the Jews fled. I mean, I already know this because I was taught this in Judaic studies in my minor degree. I was taught this that the Jews had fled to the Ottoman Empire, and they kept on trying to get the Ottoman Empire to let them create like a Jewish state, like had their own place, so the Jews could come back to. But the Ottoman Empire was kind of like uneasy about that because they were Arabs, they were practicing Muslims, or I should say Arabis, practicing Muslims. So they weren't for that. But they did bring a lot of Jews to Palestine. There were a lot of Jews in Palestine. So before 1948, there was a lot of Jews already in Palestine living in peace amongst the Samaritans, Israelites, the Palestinian Arab Muslims, the Druze. They were already living in peace. They weren't sitting there fighting for what everybody got along. They were neighbors with each other. I'm not sure if you watched the Samaritan Kohanim, the Sun or something like that on YouTube. Let me see if I can pull that up. Let's see if I can still find the video. Mm, Let's see if I can find the video. Yeah, I can't. I can't. I don't see it. I'll find it another time, and I can email it to you or something. But anyways, the this Samaritan Kohanim, he basically goes to the Palestinians or goes to Israel and showing the places where they used to live at in peace. That there was no issues. They all lived amongst each other in peace. There was no problem amongst Palestinians and the Palestinian Jews, Muslims, Druze, Samaritans. They all got along. There was no problem. It wasn't until the European Zionists came there and started moving the Palestinians out of their lands, and that caused all types of problems. This actually might be it. Let me see. I'm gonna click on it. Of course, I'm gonna do the commercial. I thought I commented on it, but there's not. It might be on my other Facebook or YouTube channel. I see we got somebody else in the chat. Hey, who else is in the chat? Let me know. Yeah, that's him right here. This is the guy I'm talking about. He's going in. This one right here, the boy, the guy with the red fez on. That's him. This is him right here. He goes into the land and he says where they lived at. He sits down and talks about his life and everything. He even plays like a video game and whatnot, killing video game. I actually made a comment about that because I'm like, he's supposed to be a high priest, but he's sitting here playing a killing video game. A man of peace, supposed to be of high religious background, playing a game that kills. I think it's this one though. I'm gonna click on it. This is another good one though. So say this one, or I can just post the URL in the chat. Yeah, this is the other one right here. This is it. That's it. You see how you playing the get video game? This is it. And if you watch this full video, I'm gonna share the link. You watch this full video, he's gonna sit there and say he's gonna say that they used to live amongst Palestinians in peace, Jews, everybody. They all got along. There was no problems there. You know. And he basically gets discriminated against by the Jews, and he kind of gets discriminated by the so-called Muslims now because of all the tensions that have risen. So he has the name. I think he has the name Levi, if I'm not mistaken. That's the same ones that's on Family Tree DNA with the Samaritan Israelite DNA. That's him. That's their lineage. This is him. That's the one that has the EV22 marker. EV22. But yeah, this guy is sitting here giving an interview playing a killing video game. This guy's so shout out. Mm-mm-mm. Skipping. a Hebrew Israelism. By any chance, do you know where that star comes from? By any chance, like, can you point to the Tanakh? If I asked you to point to the Tanakh where that came from, would you be able to tell me? And you can be honest. Like, if you don't know, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. But I'm just curious if you do know. I think he dropped out the chat. Guess you did you drop out the chat? I'm guessing you dropped out the chat. I'm going to assume that. All right. Anyways, so in the book of Amos, chapter 5, it starts off with verse 25. Sacrifices and offering did ye bring nigh to me, in a wilderness 40 years, O house of Israel, and you bear Sukkoth your king, and Chun your images, the star of your God. What was the star of your God? This one right here, Chun, Chun. Another way to say it, bring up the Strongs, is Kiyon, the star of your God, that ye made for yourselves. And I removed you beyond Damascus, said Yahweh, God of hosts, Elohim of hosts, or Eloah, because it's only singular, so it's Eloah, not Elohim. Elohim's plural. That's multiple gods. Of hosts is his name. So, right, if you click on Kiyon, it says a heathen god, right? A heathen god. And he's referred to as like Baal. Like, it's the same thing. Baal, the horn god, or the goat god, or the cow god, or whatever. The bull, the same one that Moses, he got upset with the Israelites because they were still worshiping him. But anyways, if you go ahead and copy that name and run it through Google, it's generally assumed to be the god Saturn, the Assyrian name of which was Kivan. Kiwan. Right? Let's go ahead and hit them images up and we see what pops up. And see, one of somebody made it where, the horn god, or Baal, is in the middle and is in the center of it, middle of it. All right. And like I said, it was known to the Syrians. So look what's in this depiction right there. The so-called same star. The same star that they made. That's it right there. The same one. There's no mistake about it. It's the same star. That's the same star. And it's like, so if these people why would they be practicing such customs? Why? Why would you have such customs? Because this don't worship Yahweh. Like, this has nothing to do with Yahweh. Like, that star has nothing to do with Yahweh. It does not represent the Star of David or the Shield of Solomon. And it clearly says a foreign god. Sikuth. Sikuth. Yon. A heathen god. Mm. Oh man. I'm pretty sure that anybody that comes on this video probably like, nah, oh my gosh, this dude, he's teaching the truth. Well, I don't need to stay on here. He's teaching too much truth. This truth is too much for me to handle. Mecca, the Kaaba, all with the cube, the same cube, which represents Saturn. When you unfold a cube, what do you get? A cross. And if you fold the 6-pointed star, what do you get? Get the cube. And it all goes back into gematria. Goes back to gematria with the numbers, the number games, using numbers. Hmm. And what's so funny, they call this one the Star Rantham, but the problem with that is actually when you precept the book of Amos chapter 5 verse 26, it actually precepts to that verse, Acts chapter 7 verse 43. So this Rantham is the same one from Amos chapter 5 and verse 26. Same one. It's Kiyon. It's the same one. Look how these people talk about the Palestinians. Taliban, so dirty. All right, I'm gonna leave it like that. Ain't nobody want to join in. They, they claim the reason why nobody wanted to join in because I'm unprofessional and I don't know what I'm talking about. Exactly. And if it was the case, they could easily come on my channel and make me look silly. But they won't because they know they will get owned. I'm still live. I'm still live. Anybody can join in. The phone number, emails in the chat. Phone number, emails in the chat. Let me know. I just find it so funny. Like, I'm just saying, like, if if I don't know what I'm talking about, just join in, and tell, like, show me I don't know what I'm talking about. And the person was like, "Oh, I'm gonna take somebody's suggestion and just block you." Lady, I've been blocked you, or guy, I've been blocked you. Whatever you are, whatever you identify as, I've been blocked you. Yeah, I know. They don't understand the Tanakh. They don't understand history. They don't understand none of that. They definitely don't understand. They told me I don't understand genetics. Dude, what? Okay. I mean, it's not really hard to comprehend, especially now the way it is now. Like back in the day, they would just give you a bunch, like a number and a bunch of or a letter and a bunch of numbers afterwards, and it was like, dude, what? Like, what does this represent? It would just be like H4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10. Like, what are y'all talking about? Like, you would have to like guess, like, unless you knew exactly what it was talking about. It was so hard to understand it. It was too challenging. It was too challenging to grasp. Yeah, yeah, I get. All right. Since ain't nobody want to join in the fun, ask me any question you want to. I guess I'm gonna leave it like that and eat some dinner. Oh well. Oh well. Might as well just watch some TV and do something else. Nobody wants to watch poor old biblical DNA. Somebody watching. Let me know. Hit me up in the chat. The phone number in the chat. Look at the top of the chat. The phone number's there. Oh well. I guess they're no longer watching. Might as well go ahead and leave. feel like just having it, just keeping it open, just to see if anybody calls in. Yeah, for the hell of it, like just see if anybody calls in. No one wants to argue, debate me. Talking about, I start making fun of people because I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, what? No, that's not how it works. If somebody talks bad about me, I talk bad back. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of no. For what? These trolls don't offend me. They don't get me upset for what? There's no need to. I'm gonna just say the same thing back to them because they can't hit me up with any knowledge. No knowledge at all coming from these fakers. Hey, hey, hey. What you got, the steak or chicken? Um, I think it was that crazy the Crow House guy. I think he was saying something about them putting like um putting mRNA inside the beef or whatever, so they don't suffer from that passing out with that heat, like the ones in what was it? What was that, Nebraska or something like that? Those cows passed out at on, I don't know where they were from. I remember they were from somewhere in the West, Midwest, I think. All of those cows, that video I showed you, all those cows died. Bulls died or whatever they are. Not in the road. That was their farm. That was their land. That was their pasture. Uh mm, yeah, but that I'm saying that's their pasture. Like that was their property. That was theirs. That's what I'm saying. That was a part of the farm. But anyways, like he was saying that they're gonna start injecting like mRNA into them so they can, I don't know. I don't know if that came on the news or what. I'm gonna have to watch it. I don't doubt it because that goes into the whole concept of people putting the magnets on the chicken and the beef and all that stuff. Like, oh my god. Hmm. All right, all right, all right. Okay, so no, since nobody want to call in, I'm just gonna leave it like that. If you got a question, let me know and I'll go back on live. All right, y'all.